Gentlemen.
Alrighty, folks, Nucks are being bumped here. It's open doubles for ninth or better at Moneyball 2024. 3 out of 5 win by 2 in the fifth. This gets underway on the left-hand side up front out of Southern California, Fadi Gobran. Playing goalie for him, Dan Tyvoll. On the right there, grabbing the ball in the 3, that's Phil Schlaefer. Dr. Doom himself, James Sparky Castillo at nets for him. I believe all 4 players are mic'd. I'm just going to give us some interesting insight. Say what you will about Dan Tyvoll, and I have. He is a student game, and he does notice things. And so it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say, him and his partner, Fadi. And, of course, Phil and James, 2 very smart foosers themselves, very eloquent when they're talking about it, if they're not screaming and shouting, doing just amazing rod throws.
I think it's pretty clear Phil wanted a jar there, or at least a distraction.
So what do you recommend? Like, you see that, you just say it, right?
Yeah, if you have a bit of conviction behind that and it's not a question for you, you just put your hand over the table. Stop play and talk about it. That's literally what the rules say to do.
You shouldn't rely on the kindness of the other player.
Depends on who you're playing. I mean, some people, there are people who, if they don't react, then I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt because they have a good track record with playing honestly and fairly, and I'll say to myself that maybe I just missed one. Mm-hmm. There are the opposite is true with some people too, where it doesn't matter what it is. We're talking about it as soon as I see it, and then unfortunately, there's another level of players who we won't be in that position because I'm not playing them without a ref.
Right.
But everybody on this table I find to be fair and honest, and I think Phil not saying anything there is fine. And if he would have stopped play to talk about it, that would have been fine too. I trust whatever his judgment in the moment is, and I think anybody else on this table would have been fine with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fadi has got an all-arm pull shot. Yeah, I was talking about that because he was saying this was yesterday, 2 days in. He was his arm was sore. And I was like, what is it that you do there? Because he's not using his body at all when he shoots. It's all arm whip. I don't shoot a pull shot, so I mean, I understand the mechanics, and I know everybody's body type is different, but I feel like that just ends up being so much more power.
Yeah.
Whips that long. 2-1. Yeah, speaking of Phil's 5-bar, Ron's saying Phil's 5-bar is underrated. He sticks his brushes. He does. Phil's game all the way around. That push kick was thought better of it and just decided to get another look at Phil's shot.
Gotta get my feet situated here. We got a lot going on up here. Trying to make sure everything's just so-so. Just rimming the corner there, hitting the post. And Phil is really good to the corners. I think that's the strength of his 3-bars. He can just really stretch the goal out and make it bigger than it seems, or make it seem bigger than it is.
Yeah.
And when he's hitting the post, it's not getting that done.
Yeah. Overhitting it here. This is a good defense by Tyvoll. Doing a basic race to the pull side with that post over and just saying, hey, hit everything else. Yeah.
Hit the wall like 4 times in a row.
No, you're fine. He's up. Give him the little fake thing. They'll throw
The
off
flippers?
It'll throw off the timing and it'll allow you to pop him when you feel it.
It looks like it's wide open. I'm just hitting the
no,
wall.
he's messing. Yeah, he executing a little bit. You're good.
Yeah.
Just give him the little flipper, because now
I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer with the flip in the 3 to 5 seconds. Okay.
You're good. You're good.
That's a first.
You're good.
Good D.
So yesterday you were asking about, the flippy thing that Phil does and what's the point of it and what, talking about, does it mean something? Is it just, whatever that whole conversation was. And I think actually Sparky kind of summarized that quite nicely right there. Was just, that is the thing that's missing from his normal 3-bar series right now. I'm talking about Phil, that he's not doing the thing that he normally does. And that could be, that could make him be tighter. It could make him, which is going to end up with overshooting the ball, hitting the corners, hitting the walls, hitting the posts. And Sparky just saying, hey, just, and I'm paraphrasing, but he's just saying, just do your thing. Just throw in some flippies and just, and I think it has the benefit of loosening Phil up and also makes it harder for Tyvoll to read what's happening because there's a lot more movement. And anytime there's more input, there's more decisions to make. And in a game like foosball where everything is just split second, those split seconds are a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredibly well said. That does summarize that. And I just want to point out, if you're looking and when you're playing doubles and you want to learn how to become a better partner in doubles and support your partner, what Castillo just did there wasn't just so much talking the strategy, which was important and a good thing for Phil to know, but he heard Phil drop an F-bomb and he goes, bad word, and he realized the energy's shifting, he's getting into his head. Pull him out. This is what you said that James was like when you played with him in pro doubles, and it's just so awesome to have a partner like that that's going to have your back and be like, "Hey, you need to take a step back."
Yeah, that's exactly when the way Sparky said it to me was, "Don't pull yourself out of the match." And so, and even then, it was a question: "You want to burn one? You want to burn one?" Still letting his partner kind of dictate what happens without actually. I mean, it wasn't an option. They're calling a timeout right there, but it's still a way to let your partner make a good decision. Call a timeout. Talk about it. And then they come back to the table, and it's 2 goals in a row. It's 3-3. Little stuff like that matters. When you think about the difference between pro and amateur, or master and amateur, or however you want to say that, it's not always the mechanics of how you pass or how you shoot. It's what happens before the physical part of the game takes over. So right here, what is happening, and you see Phil implementing some of the things already that Sparky talked about, and he also had some own observations of his own, sitting on it longer, like he said, throwing in some fakes, and it's okay that he didn't score there. It's a new process that he's implementing to give him a chance next time he gets the ball on his 3-bar.
That is it. That is foosball in a nutshell. Is you have to make these adjustments. You have to see these things that you're going to be doing and adjust to them. It's a conversation, as you said yesterday. But on the table.
What a pass. That is a pass.
Yeah, Tyvoll has a very good passing series. It's very elusive. He doesn't hit anything very hard, but he hits it accurate when he's there for it, and it is effective.
And again, watch when Phil sets it up. He'll do some of this flip. He'll take it a lot longer. Oh, he didn't do either one of those, and he just gave it over to Tyvoll. Nice pass there. And he's been struggling to clear from that 2-bar, but he has hit 3 passes now up to Fadi's 3-bar.
Yeah. Pressure's on for Fadi to start performing. His shooting 10% is not ideal. This has been a defensive clinic for both teams here. Tyvoll and Castillo getting it done to support their forwards.
Yeah, combined 3 for 24.
This is
from the 3-bar.
Problematic if Fadi's going to his rollover. I never, ever, ever, ever see him play. He lives 5 minutes down the street from me. We play a lot. Maybe just taking a little moment there. He's going to come back to it.
And that's time there. There's no ref on the table, so, you know, there's not really a way to call that in the moment. But we see here that he's taking a little longer than the allowed 15 seconds back there on the 2-bar. I saw him doing that in another match earlier today, too. And again, this is shot attempt number 12 for Fadi. Not a bad idea for a timeout here.
Shoot it straight without even watching his defense, right? Just because he's bobbing off. It's just like 50% chance. Oh,
I mean, he's there, man. I gotta get him off of it. So
I mean, okay. Look straight or long.
How about John Wiggs? I'll set up a bit off and look for John Wiggs. They can think about it.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Right. And he's dead barring on the near wall quite a bit. So it looks like a split is there, but
either offset on the full side to open up your push.
All right.
Earlier, you weren't going far. You weren't going deep enough because you were cornering.
Right.
And then you went short a few times. So if you just go smooth, because earlier when you went for it, it just went like 3/4 push, but it was there.
All right.
Both goalies here talking their forwards through what to adjust and how to maybe get it past the defense there. We caught just the very tail end of Phil and Sparky there talking, but we already know what Fadi's going to be looking for here. And didn't do what they talked about.
No, and I think that Fadi's in his own head. I think he thinks that he has to show something to James, and I don't think he has to. I think he just has to show something to himself.
I think that John Wayne was the play there. You heard him say that.
Yeah.
Because any kind of movement, I bet he does it here. I think coming out of that timeout, it's easy to forget what you talked about. But another shot this quick, and you might see the John Wayne. Yeah, he's setting it up right there on that inside dot. Inside of that second dot. Still went straight. Wasn't quite the shot we were looking for. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if that doesn't go in. It's there.
Right.
It's implanted.
I think that works directly out of the timeout, though. That was his third attempt after the conversation. And when you're the goalie, when you're Sparky there, you feel that. You know that they're looking for something, and you're thinking along with them. So when you have 3 shots, he's with you by the third attempt. You got to do it on the first attempt. Does that make sense?
It does. No, it makes 100% sense. Because you're talking about in the moment. You have to present that moment right
after.
afterwards.
Out of the timeout and bam, John Wayne.
So that's a tough one. And for Phil, I believe what James was saying was do 3/4, change up the holes that you're hitting, tighten them up.
And again, Tyvoll just steady trying to feed Fadi there, which is the thing to do. It's a good goalie. Keep your forward in the game. Show confidence in their ability, even though they're not shooting real well.
Phil is the first person to break through after that knot was tied for some time.
Yeah.
Now it's up to Fadi. The pressure's on him. He's clearly not feeling it on his 5 either. This could change very quickly in the next game should this one get sunk. And the goal of Fadi and Dan.
And Phil's one of these kind of players that if he gets a few past you and he can kind of breathe a little bit and feel like he's in the game, it's going to be a bad time. Ignore that clock. Yeah, Fadi and Dan were up 3-1 in this. And then that timeout at 3-1 by Sparky and Phil.
Just a quick peek here. Shooting 7% is not winning foosball, but neither is shooting 17%.
That is down to 7% shooting, 1-15. And I was talking to Fadi before this match, and it seems like he has a bit of a cold. He's recovering from something. He's not feeling 100%, which definitely matters.
Yeah, he got something nasty in Vegas, and it's out of his system. But you can tell his stamina's not there.
You have a timeout to burn here. Might not be a bad time to just let your goalie shoot it, even if your goalie's Dan Tyvoll.
Especially if your goalie's Dan Tyvoll.
My only regret is not being there when Dan watches this and hears that. And passing on the right side of the table here, I mean, Phil is passing 9 for 17, which is 53%. It'll go down a little bit there, all the way down to 50%. I say very sarcastic because 50% is good passing. Nice save there by Tyvoll, keeping that game-winning point out of the goal. And another pass. He's now 4 for 7 from the 2 to the 3 bar for Dan Tyvoll. 57% passing, which is the highest passing percentage on the table right now.
I mean, if you're watching his defense, I mean, when he's on the straight, that's when you shoot because he's coming off it. It's what. So I'll tell you what. Next time you get the ball, watch his defense for 15 seconds and call timeout. Okay? Because I want you to see what's open. I want you to just all you do is watch his defense.
Interesting there is Dan was giving him some feedback, and Fadi just turned around and walked off. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I did.
Good job. All right, first one's out of the way.
Say what?
Let me see a couple.
I shot, James.
All righty, game number 2 underway. After that first one was a bit of a, well, I wouldn't say it's a barn burner. It was just a slow barn burner. But Phil and James won it after we saw Fadi's offense just get down to the single digits.
Yeah, 1 for 18 is not acceptable. No matter who you're playing, no matter what the circumstances, no matter anything. I mean, you should accidentally score more than that. If I close my eyes and play on Ryan Moore, who I believe is the best defensive goalie in all of foosball, with my left hand shooting a push shot, I'll shoot better than that.
Yeah,
which is I think it sounds like I'm trashing Fadi's 3 bar. I'm not. What I'm saying is that is so wildly out of the realm of what should be possible.
Yeah,
that there's that's alarming. And
right.
I literally think that it's close your eyes. At this point, close your eyes. Or just go middle. Go middle after 5 seconds. I mean, literally anything other than the current thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And he is a good foosball player. We've seen him several times here on Table 1, whether here at this tournament, at the Portland mashup, the first one we did together back in 22. I mean, he's a good ball player. This is unusual. And he's playing against a good goalie. I mean, Sparky's no slouch. But nothing is working here. 2 for 20 now.
Yeah, Fadi's a player, and I know him very well. Personally, I know him well, and I know that he thinks about things a great deal and gets into his own head. I think he and I are simpatico in that way, because I did the same thing. And you heard him between games. That's what Tyvoll was telling him. He's like, hey, you know what? Castillo's not looking at the man. Even if he is looking at you, it doesn't matter. Just do your thing, put your head down, and go.
Yeah.
And Tyvoll is doing a valiant effort back there defensively and clearing. Yeah. I don't think you could ask for much more, but I think in the end, if you're just looking at just raw power and numbers, Castillo's game, goalie-wise, offensively, is going to overpower Tyvoll's. as this 3 out of 5 continues.
And you hear Sparky there after that goal by Schlaefer saying, "That's the one," and it's a small phrase that says a whole lot. He's saying, that's the Phil Schlaefer that I said yes to playing with. Doing your flip, you're working the thing, doing all you do, and then you go middle. It's good shooting.
This is where it has to happen because, I mean, you look at Tyvoll has been doing everything he needs to do. He's been telling Fadi what to do.
Yeah.
Fadi's kind of just starting to do it now here in the second game. But, like, if the play is at the plate here, the play is on the table. If you are not starting to execute, it's demoralizing.
Yeah.
For the goalie.
Yeah.
And for the forward, too.
Well, Tyvoll, for all the things that we'll say about him, we will say those things, by the way.
Oh, heck yeah.
He's as thick-skinned as they get, I think. And so if you're in Fadi's position right now, the number one quality to have in a goalie is someone who's not going to give up for you, who can withstand this. I mean, it's only game 2, but this just feels like a 15-round pummeling by Tyson at your own hands.
Yeah.
And I think Tyvoll's a great goalie to have right here because he's going to stay in there with you. He's not going to get down to the dumps, and he'll probably have some good advice on the timeouts, which we get to listen to. And it's only 2-2 in the second game here. Yeah. This is still completely winnable because news alert. It's Phil here on the right side is only shooting 5 for 21 himself. Now 5 for 22, which is 23%. That is losing foosball when you're not shooting 14% yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice save there by Tyvoll to keep it. He's had a few of those where the ball was going to the corner and he did a very mechanically sound move of his goalie rod to keep it out. Not a lucky swat, but actually good play by him.
And so I feel like what we're seeing are two forwards that are in their own head and they're trying to battle to get out of it. Clay, all day, calls the shot behind the scenes.
Didn't pull it over quite enough. If he can get over to between that big dot and the third dot right before it, I think he can hit that. It might have been what he was looking at, and he didn't quite snap it the way he wanted to. This is Fadi's 24th shot, and he's going to go back to the rollover.
I don't agree with this at all.
Got a feel for that, man. I mean, he's getting tons of shot attempts. I mean, it's in a game and a half, he's at shot 25 here. And it's close. It's 2-2. And I do think it's at some point you give Sparky credit for good defense because he has identified the struggle and he's just pinned him to the mat.
Yeah.
And he's not letting him try new stuff. He's doing a dead race. And he's playing good defense, but this is give credit to where it's due as far as the defense goes, but I think the bigger part of this is Fadi struggling on this 3-bar.
And if it was me right now, call a timeout, let Tyvoll just shoot. Tyvoll can shoot a rollover. It's fine. It doesn't matter if it goes in, but something different has to happen here. That was not even a shot. It was not. It didn't connect at all. So you can see he's not feeling confident, so he just needs something. Just have a different look. Anything.
Well, he'll continue to get chances. Dan, can we get the game 2 stats on the? Can you switch it to game 2?
Yeah.
Thank you. Perfect. And Phil has stepped up his shooting quite a bit, but not getting nearly the amount of efforts or the amount of chances that Fadi is getting. And there he hits that, I believe was a split.
I think he went around him, but either way, he broke through, and it's 3-3 yet again.
And another shot. This is number 12 in this game.
Fadi can get on fire.
That's just a straight race. I mean, as soon as he goes, so you can abuse that. You can exploit that rather. If somebody's doing that to you, you give that little high lift, just enough for them to move and immediately smack it in. And I think that would work here. I don't shoot a pull shot. Definitely don't have the pull shot that Fadi has on most days. But I think if I'm a goalie, that's what I would be afraid of right now. Because I'm going as soon as I see movement. And so if you move and I go, now I'm not there, and you can shoot it straight in.
Tyvoll is jumping at that.
Yeah. Casual assurance there by Sparky. This field goes to 67% shooting in this second game after an abysmal first game that they won, by the way.
So James is doing a straight race. Fadi keeps trying to get around it, and he's not. Doesn't feel comfortable. What do you tell Fadi if he calls the times out and asks you, what do I do?
Well, I don't know his toolbox the way that Dan probably does. So I would need to have some context there. What is he able to do? So I could tell you with some other players that I've played with, some of the things that might be on my mind. Do you have a pull into a push kick? Do you have a tic-tac? Do you have do you have a slingshot? Do you have a high lift straight? Can you go from a pull shot and do that? You see Terry Rue do this a lot, where he pulls it over, but it's like a pull kick with his near man. Like literally anything but your normal shot. Like do anything to just, I mean, what's the number one thing they tell you when you call tech support? You know, hey, my computer isn't working, or my printer's broken, or this thing. What's the first thing they tell you to do? Turn it off and turn it back on.
I said we have 2 timeouts. Yeah. So I want you to really think about what you want to do. I know he's fast, and that's why you got to tuck it, right? Because you let him jump out of the way. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Tuck spots.
I mean, a big dot tuck. If you hit it, if you take the big dot and tuck it, because his 2 bar's not going to go all the way to the big dot. You take it to the big dot and you tuck it, because he's right. That's how you beat that fast race. Dude, he's not taking that 2 bar all the way to the big dot.
Change your thing on your 5.
I know, I'm not selling my passes at all. I'm like being dainty.
Also, don't do the double pump wall. If you do a wall, just do a smooth wall. Just boom and just don't do
like the one we talked about.
Yeah.
Dan has given him all, you asked me the question just now.
Yeah.
And I think the answer that he gave you there is just as good and maybe better, because that's exactly what he does. He pulls it over. He didn't fully tuck it the way Tyvoll was talking about.
Yeah.
But that's the shot that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I actually really respect and appreciate actually that Tyvoll says, I know he's fast. Mm-hmm. I know he's fast. And so you're not trying to say you're faster than him, or you're not trying to dismiss him, but you're saying, I know he's this thing, but you can ...
Yeah. 4-4, buried, pull side, dead bar, 2-0.
And you can see off camera, Tyvoll's nowhere to be found. He's just off camera there. I think Dan's happy to talk there, and I think Fadi's beyond talking at this point. He just wants to figure it out and score. Dan, can we get these back to the match stats?
Third game underway.
Thank you, sir.
Phil and James have been just gutting this one out against Fadi and Dan. A defensive onslaught from both goalies.
Fadi's 5 bar is actually, especially in that second game and now here in the third, is stepped up. I mean, he's 13 for 29 passing. 45% is good foosball. So he's definitely getting the opportunities. I was looking at numbers. What happened there?
It is 1-0.
Scored.
No, I know he scored. I heard this.
Pull shot?
I'll ask a better question next time.
Could you be more specific?
Well, your job is to talk, and I'm listening.
Oh.
Anybody tell me what the shot was? What happened?
It was a
Pretend I'm Ray Charles. I don't know what happened.
Oh my goodness. It was a pull shot long.
It wasn't long. It was short.
Oh, well, whatever then.
Straight. Cool. Man, this is I've worked with this before.
You don't get it?
No.
Damn. It's not funny, but it's hilarious.
Is that a chip?
That was a spray. Just past the big dot.
Yeah. Good time
My
out
bad,
there.
my bad. You caught me on that sneaky. Caught me with that circle boom.
I'm playing
blasted
horrible.
me. Don't think too much on your 5. Just smooth. Just
Everything's open.
yeah.
Just
But the thing
misexecuting,
is, you're checking.
or I'm rushing.
But when you're going and you're checking, if it's there, just take it. Just take it. It's there because he's waiting for you to check again. He's like, I'm showing you something. Okay. If you want, you could just do all downs the whole time, just downs. He's coming off. You can do all downs, make him stop it.
All right, one apiece.
Ready, guys?
Ready, go.
Yeah, Phil on the 5 bars has gone down below 40%. He's 20 for 31 passing. Not a pass completion, but I'll take an incomplete pass with a break every time. And Fadi with one more pass attempt. I was going to say he's one or two pass away from 50%, which is really good. But even at 45%, 15 for 33. I mean, it feels like he's just living with the ball. This will be his 37th shot attempt in 3 games, which is 12 more than Phil has had.
Oh, get off there.
And I didn't get to the camera in time, but what he was saying, yeah, get off there, and you couldn't see Sparky, but he looked directly over at Tyvoll when he said that. So, and they're having fun. This is not trash talking doubles or anything that's not okay. That is permissible and okay and funny and enjoyable
And okay.
When it's done. All of you said it's okay when it's done.
Yeah, no, Dan. I hope I tell Dan every time he plays, I hope he loses, man.
Yeah.
I'll never. He said good shot, and I was the goalie, and I'll never forgive him for that. And this is, I mean, that only happened like a day and a half ago, so it's a new grudge, but it's a solid one. I can feel it. The concrete has settled, and that foundation is set. And I will root against him every time. I hope this ball goes back into his own goal somehow.
This is the 39th attempt.
There he is. He's finally finding that middle.
Yeah. 3-2.
39 shots in 3 games is just, you never see that. I mean, you just never, because usually if a team is struggling to score and they're getting that many attempts, the other team usually ends the match. But this is one of those matches where, Phil is 8 for 27, which is 31%. So 26 actually. So 26, 40, that's 65 shot attempts between the two of them. 65 shot attempts in 2+ games.
Wow.
And credit to the goalies. That's good defense. I mean, some of it is a matter of execution from the 3 bar, which we've talked about at length already, and then also give credit to the goalies. If the goalie just stands there and doesn't move and lifts his man up, it's a free goal.
Yeah.
So to the extent that the goalies are playing defense, give them credit.
Yes, come on, stuff it again.
3-3 as that ball got stuffed by Schlaefer.
Yeah.
Back into the hole. This is one thing about Fadi's game across the board. His 5-bar can be very consistent.
Yeah.
We've been seeing that here. Almost 50%. Almost 50% with 36 attempts. Continues to feed his goalie, does Castillo, or forward, does Castillo. It is match point.
You're out.
Hey, the next one you get it, as soon as you set up, just go push, boom. It's
Yeah, it's always open.
nice. On the first second though. Smooth.
I think the conversation's over on the left side of the table here.
Yeah.
I still like the advice there from Tyvoll. He's generalized it all the way down to now.
Oh no! As that one blows in, there's a wet exclamation point to this grueling match. As in 3 games, Fadi Gobran and Dan Tyvoll are defeated by Phil Schlaefer and James Castillo to go on.
I always get that. Trying too hard to score it. Well, yours, right?
That last one.
No, you bailed because I was hitting lines. No, it just split. You bounced out.